Hey everybody.
Hi everyone.
Welcome back.
Welcome back to the Master Questers play this game.
Yay!
We're back at you. We're cosplaying.
Hooray!
Chelsea has chosen to go with an interesting cosplay choice with Link, eschewing the pants.
It's like Ocarina of Time.
It's sure it is. Look, Ocarina of Time, the game we're playing.
Yeah.
So, we're going in the first dungeon. Where would you rank this dungeon in terms of dungeons in Skyward Sword?
I feel like this dungeon is pretty meh.
Okay.
It's not terrible, but it's also not probably in my top 3 of...
Well, aren't there only 6 anyway? I guess there's 7.
7.
Yeah.
Like, the best one is obviously the Ancient Cistern.
Obviously. Everybody knows
Yeah,
it.
everybody knows. I surprisingly liked the one on Skyloft.
I think that's probably one of the better ones. I would say maybe that's,
I'd say that's the second best, probably.
I'd say that's like exactly in the middle. I'd say that's 4th. Master, I have bad news. The auras of many creatures reverberate throughout this temple. As a result, I can't isolate Zelda's aura. You will not be able to track her here.
Oh no.
Dang, I was really hoping I would get to douse in the temple. Given the situation, I suggest you look around and see where we should move next.
Okay.
So, barring, like I would say this is the 5th best temple.
Oh yeah?
So I would say this is 3rd to worst, and as far as I'm concerned. What it's got going for it is that I think it has a pretty solid aesthetic.
Yeah.
But, I mean, like, aside from that, I wasn't a huge fan of the beetle in terms of dungeon items.
Yeah.
And also, like, I think the boss fight is pretty anticlimactic.
Hello.
Hi. And I don't know, there's a lot of like, I don't know, it's just a little underwhelming for the first dungeon. You gotta do this, which I think is boring and dumb.
Yeah, this part, like, from what I remember, they made a big deal out of this sort of mechanic in the trailer and stuff. They're like, oh, you can move your sword around, and then I think they use this puzzle twice in this dungeon.
Yeah, I remember
quote unquote puzzle.
They do it again, but with like 3 eyes in a minute.
Yeah.
I still think this dungeon is like way better than either of the fire dungeons though. The Earth Temple and the Fire Temple I think are easily the worst parts of this game. Everything that happens on Eldin is like it's so bad. Everything on Eldin is so bad. Eldin is the worst area, and it's always got like the parts of the games that I'm the most frustrated with. But yeah, this dungeon pretty mediocre, I'd say.
Yeah, I'd say this is like one of the okayest dungeons.
I mean, whether or not it's easy is like, I don't think the problem here. It's not that it's easy or hard, it's just that it's very tedious. There's a lot of like vertical movement, which The Legend of Zelda before Breath of the Wild has been pretty bad at. You know, there's a lot of time you spend running up and down those like long slopes, and that part is just so like, why? All the stuff you get in like the actual Elden area is boring. The digging mitts are boring. The digging mitts are like a very context-sensitive action type item. It's basically like a special way to open treasure chests. It's like, imagine if the little like holes, instead of being holes, were treasure chests. There's not any mechanical difference, except now you've invented a new kind of key to open these treasure chests. The other thing you get is the fire ring, which is just like a gating item. It's like totally mechanically meaningless. The only thing it does is that now you can move into a different area. It's essentially the same thing as a small key. All you get in the Elden area are key items. It's like bad. It's bad. It's bad. Elden's bad. Elden's the worst part of this game. Yeah, the escort mission is annoying.
Yeah, I hate the escort mission.
The part where you get captured by bokoblins is annoying. The Silent Realm in that part is like annoying because it's the area in general is so like, has so many choke points. It's bad.
Oops. Nope, I'm fine.
And then the dungeons themselves, like, maybe not as annoying as the Elden area itself, are like, kind of boring. I also know that, like, you fight that big weird fire spider is the boss in that dungeon, and I don't like that. That boss is, like, fine, it's just like a Dodongo. But more orb-like. It's an orb Dodongo. And then the other one is you fight Jirahim, and it's like it's the second out of like 3 Jirahim fights. Which, this game makes you fight Jirahim 2 times too many. Oh, cool. Yeah, the capture part gives you a sense of being helpless. That's great. That would be great if you didn't have to also feel helpless in like 4 Silent Realms throughout the game. So it's a little bit redundant as far as I'm concerned.
Well, but it's different mechanics in the Silent Realms.
It's different mechanics, but it's intended...
Like with the Silent Realms, the stressful part is like, if you don't do it in time, you'll get chased, which some people find very like, OMG or whatever. But whereas with the stealth part, it's more, you know, stealth.
Right, yeah, so you're telling me there's like not entire sections of the spirit realm where you're trying to avoid weird floaty life guys, or light guys.
Well, not if you do it, get the things within the time limit, which isn't that hard.
No. There are guys who float around
with
with lanterns.
The lantern ones.
Yeah. That is ostensibly also stealth. You're avoiding a thing's line of sight. It's functionally also just stealth. The only difference between the stealth section and the Silent Realms section is that the Silent Realms gameplay is just a more robust version of the like bokoblin capture segment. So it's like they're making you do a thing for the 4th time that you've already done 3 times, but this time it's less good. They've just like kind of skinned it differently. And there's no like chasing sequence.
I mean, I never really like equated the two. Oh, I don't have those.
That's fine. It doesn't somehow mean that they aren't very similar in gameplay mechanics.
I'm just saying, like, I never thought of it as like, oh, I'm doing this again.
Sure, and now I'm posing to you that you're really kind of just doing the same thing again. It might feel different because it's a different scenario and different aesthetics, but ultimately it's like You're trying to achieve the same ends. It's just the only difference now is that there's no time limit put over it. So it kind of makes it even less exciting.
What am I doing?
Well, I think Lanayru is like easily the best part of this game. That's the opposite of Elden. Everything that happens in Lanayru is like actually very good. If The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword were just the parts that happened in Lanayru, I would say it's a good video game. But it's not. It's Lanayru and also a bunch of stuff that's way less good. Like, for real. I don't know how the same guy who made all the cool shit in Lanayru also made all the boring and bad stuff in the rest of this game. How can you make like such a on point good gameplay segment and then be like, also I think there should be a part where he has to make sure a robot doesn't get hurt. I mean, obviously, you know, it's not how it happened. The easy answer to that is like a lot of people worked on the game. They pulled from a lot of ideas and like somebody was coming up with real bangers and then some other people made dumb robot escort missions and collecting tad tones.
Oh wait, now I remember.
Also collecting tad tones is bad. For the record, if you didn't hear our disclaimer in episode 1, we have very different opinions about this game. So, I don't know. There's a reason I'm not playing this and Chelsea is. But, you know what? We'll have plenty of time to talk about Elden and Lanayru when they come around. So let's just focus on the barren parts of the game, or the parts that are like the most okayest. Except the Ancient Cistern. That's another part. Lanayru stuff and Ancient Cistern are like honestly really high quality gameplay moments. Really fucking good, what you'd come to expect from the Zelda team sorts of gameplay. This dungeon is not. This dungeon is boring. It's not boring. It's not boring. It's just mediocre.
Yeah, it's an okay dungeon.
So here's the question then.
I already did the. Oh yeah, I did that one already. What am I doing?
The Silent Realms.
I'm like listening to you and
You're
I'm not paying attention to what I'm doing.
Do you need to? I mean, you've done this so many times. I feel like you could do this in your sleep. I think the Silent Realms honestly are pretty decent.
Yeah, I like the Silent Realms. My main issue with it is that I've done them so many times.
Sure.
Oh. What?
Yeah,
Where's
Chelsea?
the
You need to get a key. This is the second time you've done this.
Yeah. Well, because I was like, oh, I raised the water, I'm good. And I was like, wait, no. Because I don't have the digging mitts yet.
Yeah. I would say that.
Oh wait, I know what to do.
Except for
I've played this a lot, but it's been a little while.
Yeah. Sure. I would say except for Elden, the Silent Realms are all pretty decent. They're good parts of the gameplay. I would say that the Skyloft Silent Realm is great because it's like a surprise. It's a good surprise.
Can't get this stupid. Come out from the corner. Oh, I'm out of.
Oh. My question is, in terms of the first temple in a game that's a forest temple, where would you rank this forest temple? And let's stick with only the 3D Zeldas. So you have 5 to choose from. There's no forest temple in Oh wait. Yeah, there's no forest temple in Breath of the Wild.
No.
There's so.
Oh, there was. I thought that was a thing, but it was just a piece of grass.
Or let's not even say forest temples. Let's just say first temples. So, Great Deku Tree, Woodfall Temple, Dragon Roost Island, whatever the dumb one in Dumb Twilight Princess is called, and this one. Where would you rank this temple?
probably in the middle, I want to say, because I think it's better than Deku Tree. But Dragon Roost is better.
Sure, completely.
I honestly, like, I can't remember that much about the Twilight Princess one, so I want to say it was okay. Except, all I remember is that the boss is annoying.
Yeah, Dibaba.
Yeah.
Oh, they do this puzzle 3 times.
Oh yeah, I guess they do.
Rule of 3, baby.
They add an eye every time. Wow.
Wow. There it is. You found it.
Got it.
Well done. Congratulations.
I'm very proud of myself. I don't have that yet. Did I miss any?
You missed Woodfall.
From
Majora.
Majora? Oh. I don't remember a whole lot about Woodfall.
Fair. Woodfall is like definitely the worst temple in that game.
Yeah. Like this one, even if it's just mainly okay, I do remember it, a lot of it. So at least it sticks in my mind at least, I guess. So I guess in that I would place it above the Majora's Mask and Twilight Princess ones.
So you would say this is the second best beginning temple.
So I guess so, yeah.
Only one better is Dragon Roost.
Yeah.
Dragon Roost is easily the best first temple though.
Yeah.
So it's stiff competition.
Yeah, I don't have any friggin' seeds. Give me seeds, thank you.
I think I would probably put this one third. I think I would say Dragon Roost and Deku Tree are better. And then I'd say that Woodfall and the whatever dumb fucking one is in Twilight Princess is worse.
Yeah, I just... Maybe it's... Well, so the thing is like, I want to... Part of me is like, oh, I just don't like the Great Deku Tree because I've done it so many times, but I've also done this one a lot of times. But like, I did it recently again for the, for our April Fool's stream. And the whole time I was just like, get it over with, please.
I mean... I think it's really good. It's like a very good dungeon because it like, first of all, in context of being the first 3D Zelda game, it's like kind of a masterpiece.
Oh yeah, I mean like if you're only looking at it from like in its time or whatever.
Well, it's not
then,
just...
Yeah, but if I'm just like not taking that in consideration at all and just comparing it like if I'm gonna play any of all those dungeons one more time now, which one would I rather play in order, you know?
I think that like it's not just like comparing it, like I'm not trying to say it's good for a dungeon that was made in '98. I'm saying that like it's an amazing dungeon for teaching you how a 3D Zelda works. Because like it immediately demands that you navigate a 3D space. It's got like, you know, this first like, the two big central puzzles of it involve like sort of manipulating things that are on the Z-axis. First with like jumping into the spider web, and then the other part where you have to like push the block into the water to cross the water. Those are like really important in teaching the player about how a 3D Zelda game works. I think that all the first like dungeons do that to an extent because they're all designed with the intent that like this might be somebody's first 3D Zelda. Like anybody could be for the first time picking up the Zelda series. And they might not fucking get it right away.
Right.
I think that one does the best job because they clearly cared the most about teaching it.
Because it was the first one.
Because it was the first one. But like, even barring that, I mean, but my point is they all teach you about 3D space.
I'm just saying, like, that was a good reason.
Well, so I think, therefore...
Like, I'm agreeing with you.
Okay, well, my point is that you can't just, like, you can't dismiss that as, like, good for its time. It's still good. It's still comparatively good to the other Zeldas. Also, I think the Deku Tree setting is good. It's a, like, a surprise when your first dungeon is inside of the Guardian of the Forest, and not just like, some fucking old building. And yeah.
Dang it.
There you go. There it is.
Give me that piece of heart.
Give me that pizza heart. Oy.
Let's see.
I also think it outstrips this one by like virtue of the fact that this dungeon introduces and has a lot of kind of obnoxious mechanics. Again, I personally am not a fan of the bug. And also, the Jiri, even though like Goma is a brain dead, like shoot the eyeball fight, I still think Jirahim's a bad choice for the first boss. They did it, you know, or at least I suspect they did it because it's like the bug is such a slow moving item that any sort of boss that involved using it would probably be so slow paced it would have no tension. But I don't know, man. If I had my druthers, you would fight Jirahim one time, and that would happen like close to the end of the game.
Yeah. Yeah, I wonder if part of it is because, and this is just, you know, speculation, but they did make an effort to make this Zelda a little more story-driven. And they did try to make Girahim more of a character than some other previous Zelda antagonists. So maybe another part of the reason they have you fight him 3 times is because they want to like be like, he's an important character, you guys. Interact with him. And have, I mean, like obviously you could still have the cutscenes and stuff with him without fighting him. So I don't think that would be like the main reason necessarily, but it could have been factored in.
Well, even if you really wanted to fight him as like part of a story beat, or like to sort of make you have a recurring antagonist, first of all, I don't think it like is meaningful having you fight and defeat an antagonist, the same antagonist multiple times. You know, a lot of other games might have you fight an antagonist and lose. Which, in case it's like a complete arc, because eventually through your journeys, you gain the strength and the courage and the experience to beat this persistent, like, guy. Having you just beat Girahim 3 times feels like a thing a video game would do, not a story would do. And then also...
Technically, you do basically beat him, but... Why didn't the water go up? Did I do something wrong? Oh wait, no, I have to... Okay. Like... I know this is one other thing where it's like... This doesn't really matter, this is just nitpicky, but... Technically, you don't defeat Girahim, he just... leaves.
Yeah, okay, he leaves after you hit him with the sword enough times. That's...
Yeah, that's
you
what I'm
beat
saying.
him, you defeated him.
Like, that's why I'm saying it's like... more just semantics, because I agree, like, for all intents and purposes, you did beat him.
I mean, he's an easy boss, yeah, but that's the point.
It's superfluous.
It's superfluous. It's like pointless. Beating Girahim is like meaningless. Like, if they really wanted you to fight Girahim and beat him, it feels like they would have maybe put him as a thing you have to fight outside the temples, because God only knows they make you fight the imprisoned 3 times outside of temples. But no, I really do think that a lot of the decision of making you fight Girahim this time around was because they gave you the Zelda item, and they gave you a Zelda item that like has almost no combat applications, or does, but like in a very sort of static, slow-paced combat, and they wanted the first boss of a dungeon to feel exciting. Girahim like runs around and charges at you and like warps around, and that in and of itself is exciting, but it's like kind of, I don't know, it's in context boring nonsense. So it's just kind of a weak first boss, and it's not a great way to end off the first temple. I forget what item you get in the Fire Temple.
Fire Temple.
Oh, it's the upgraded digging mitts.
I believe that's true.
Yeah, and that's another time where you fight Girahim. Thanks for the bits, Greta.
Hey, Greta. Thanks for the bits. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. Oh, oh.
What do you guys rank the first temples in the 3D Zeldas? Tell us your list.
Yeah, post your list in chat. You need a refresher what they are. You have Deku Tree, Woodfall Temple, Dragon Roost Island.
Maybe say which games are which.
Oh, sure. Deku Tree from Ocarina of Time, Woodfall Temple from Majora's Mask, Dragon Roost Island from Wind Waker, the one from Twilight Princess that I don't fucking care about. And this one, the
I wonder if that was just called like the Forest Temple or something.
sure. What is this one called?
I think this one's called Skyview Temple, or no, what is? Yeah, Skyview Temple.
Skyview Temple from this game. Well, Super Flips, I disagree, but you're entitled to your opinion. Ah, yes. Greta ranks Dragon Roost as the best one. Mm-hmm. Yeah, just a minute ago we were all talking about how it is the best one. It's ridiculously good. C. Dewey agrees that Dragon Roost is great. So,
I'm glad we're all of the same mind.
Dragon Roost
For
is
once.
pretty much. It's hard to beat. It's so good.
It's very good.
The only problem I find with Dragon Roost is that even though the boss is an exciting boss fight, it's kind of.
Oh shit.
And this is kind of a weird thing.
I always do that.
Yeah. I don't like this as a disparaging remark, but the Dragon Roost boss is like way too easy.
It is pretty simple.
I don't mind if a game is easy, but it's like kind of like too easy. It's comically easy.
Yeah, I played Wind Waker when I was still fairly new to Zelda.
Mm-hmm.
And even with my like sort of beginners, I don't know how to do different bosses yet thing.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I just pulled the tail.
Right. Here's the thing. Look, another thing about this game that drives me crazy.
I will admit I don't like the dungeon keys.
So
They're very annoying.
I want to know who's responsible. Who at Nintendo said, "Let's do this"? I just can't believe that they play tested this and made this, and like nobody was like, "I hate this. Why did you make me do this, Nintendo?" Nintendo. Puzzles. Make the H.
Yeah.
No, you almost had it.
Oh. Like that?
Now flip it upside down. Okay, now turn it. No, okay, now turn it this way.
Ah.
Yeah.
Gotcha. I think the worst one is the Gwyd one.
They like get progressively more terrible.
It's another reason why the Ancient Cistern is so good. Their key is very easy.
It's just a flower.
It's just a flower. You just have to find the side with the painting on it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, they wanted to put in motion controls as much as possible. This is the Zelda with motion controls.
It's my boy.
Look who it is. I thought that tornado I stirred up would have tossed and torn you apart, yet here you are, not in pieces. Not that your life or death has any consequence. It's just that the girl that matters now, and I can sense her here, just beyond this door. Yes, we plucked Her Majesty from her perch in the clouds, and now she's ours. Oh, but listen to me, I'm being positively uncivil. allow me to introduce myself. I am the demon lord who presides over the land you look down upon, this world you call the surface. You may call me Ghirardelli. In truth, I very much prefer to be introduced with my full title, Lord Ghirahim, but I'm not fussy. I immediately hate you. Did you really just draw your sword, foolish boy? By all rights, the girl should have fallen into our hands already. She was nearly ours when that loathsome servant of the goddess snatched her away. Do you have any idea how that made me feel inside? Furious, outrage, sick with anger. This turn of events has left me with a strong appetite for bloodshed.
You came at the good time, Kirby Geek. And Link needs an adult.
Still, it hardly seems fair, being of my position, to take all of my anger out on you. Which is why I promise up front not to murder you. No, I'll just beat you within an inch of your life.
No, he's just in a boy band.
I magicked my cloak away. Got him. And then also, like, even this isn't that exciting.
Yeah.
Cause like, until he like grabs the sword, he is just sort of slowly walking towards you. And then holding his hand out, and is like his model, you know, like the intent there is that he's like taunting you. He's kind of trying to get you the first move so he can make a counterattack. Which is like fine in and of itself, but like nothing about his idle animation of his model would imply that. Like you would assume that if he's like trying to like get you to come at him, he might like give you a hand motion, or like he might like whip his head back or something, but he kind of just stares at Link and follows him around with his head like an uncanny fucking animatronic from a goddamn Chuck E. Cheese. It's bad. It could be good. He could like come off as like really imposing by like being so confident that he can counterattack you with like some kind of body language, some sort of animation.
Yeah.
But instead he's like, so much is sacrificed in order to like make the visual like mechanic clear of like which way to swing your sword.
Ah, shit.
Oh, Chelsea. Well, we're gonna come at Ghirahim again after this